Zero.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Chris with Croft CNC and CNC for Newbies here. Wanted to go live and show you guys a table that I'm going to cut. I'm going to be cutting it on the CNC for Newbies 4896 Pro rack and pinion with the automatic tool changer. So this is one that I found that I really liked. The model was really messed up, and I had to do a lot of work to it. So we're gonna kind of go through what all had to be done, figuring out how to get that, and then showing you guys kind of the parts of it. So I'm excited to show you guys this stuff. You know, we're trying to do some really cool stuff here. And once I get this done, I'll probably end up making the whole bedroom suit and go from there. Yo, Facebook user, what's up? How are you? Let's see here. I don't know. It doesn't say who Yo is. So in any event, without further ado, let's pull up the mesh mixer. Let us share the screen. We'll go big screen and present, share screen, window. Okay, guys, so this is a table that I've wanted to make for quite a while. As you can see, 3D carved. It's going to take some hand tuning around the table part here. Each individual piece is taken in and ready to be carved. So we've broken this whole thing into its own individual pieces, and we can blank out all the pieces as they come. Okay, so now we have nothing. So we'll start with the long side. Okay. With Mesh Mixer, you have a little bit of a, not necessarily an issue, but it doesn't bond everything in the same layers. Because it's more for a 3D printing setup. And when you have that, we got comments here. Hold on. We got Dre King. Hello. We got Bull. What's up, my man? So when you look at Mesh Mixer, you'll see right in here, there are open cups for some stuff. Not really good, bad, or indifferent for what we're going to do, because it will actually take care of itself in the Aspire program. But you could see the flowers have a lot of depth and dimension to them. That's roughly about 2.5 inches thick. Short side is going to be about the same, so you could see all the different parts of it. Then we have the legs, and the legs So these two pieces, there's actually going to be four of them, two sides and two long sides. Those will be cut on the flat 3-axis. Then this leg will be cut on the 4th axis. So I'll actually do a rotary axis, and I'll cut this leg in Desk Proto. Just because I'll have a little bit more control over the G code. But as you can tell, the leg is fully CNC'd front, back, all around it. It's a I forget how they pronounce it, but I think it's a cabriolet. Cabriolet. It's a curved leg. But that's the basic setup. And the way that this will get machined is I'll do these long pieces, short pieces here in the 3D axis with a spire in the 3D carving or 2.5D 3D. And then the other parts will be obviously the tabletop and the legs. The legs will be done with the rotary. Once I have them done, as you can see, let's see here. Let me blank that and blank that. Okay. As you can see on the legs here, I have flats, squared edges here and here. I'm actually going to use a miter biscuit or loose tenon to glue it and connect it. And then I'll put a triangular 4x4 cross brace in it, like a 90-degree angle brace. And I'll screw that into the back of the long arm. I'll screw that into the back of the long arm here, right in there. And then I'll screw it into the leg right in there, this side and this side. And then the short leg will also get a screw on that setup, on the brace setup. So I'll have the loose tenons here into the leg, and then I'll have the cross brace to actually seal it together. Everything will be glued. Should be pretty strong once it's done. And then I was able to get these legs shortened and this apron shortened, so I can actually use this whole setup on a dresser and on a nightstand. So I can use these long legs on the nightstand to get the height, and then I'll use the short side rails in 4s to make the box, and then I'll put end table or night table tops on it, and that'll allow me to basically make a long table or a foot at the foot of a bed or anything like that. And then I can take this and make the bed tables. And then with the smaller feet, I can actually make the chest of drawers, and I can make the aprons. And then I can also do this on the end of the bed for the bed surround. So at the end of the day, this turns into a whole furniture collection, really. We got comments popping up here. Colt, what's up, my man? Good to see you on here. I just found out I guess I didn't just find out, but I just realized for the second time that Colt had a plasma machine, and he has CNC routers. So, he's rocking it. Question for the aprons: how will they be attached to the legs? Dre King. So Dre, I just answered that one. And cool. Would you use 8x4 to give you enough material to keep details of the aprons? Okay, so that's a question I get a lot. Is what am I going to do for the wood for the aprons? And what I'm actually going to do is I'll do rough cut to a nominal thickness, and then I'll cut those into finished slats, and I'll do a glue up. And I'll make sure that I have a nice thick heavy glue up. I'll run the joiner on one side. I'll run the joiner on the second side. Then I'll run it through a planer, and then I'll put it on the CNC to flatten the top and carve the face into it. And that's how I actually get my wood to the right thickness and go from there. So yeah, that's that. So you guys can see what's happening here. I'll do the same thing on the leg tray. I'll basically just laminate a glue up and compress it in a hydraulic jack wood press. So I basically take these glue ups, I put it in a glue up table, and then I put my bottle jacks. I get simple Harbor Freight bottle jacks, and I just pump them down to squeeze everything together. And then I have cross culls that get pressed down that way with bottle jacks. So it aligns everything to the back and it aligns everything to the bottom. And I can joint off of those ends, and then all the unevenness, if there is any, is on the top surface. So that's kind of how I do that part of it. So let's see. Sounds great. Sorry for all the questions. It's been a minute since I've been able to catch your live feed. Dre, not a problem. I love the questions. I love the interaction. This is what it's all about. So we have the table kind of explained how we're going to put it together, kind of explained what the situation with assembly will be. Now we can hop over to Aspire. Let's see here. Let's present. Stop screen share. Let's present. Let's go to screen share. So we now have Aspire up here. And with the Aspire, we basically imported everything. And then with importing it, that tells me how deep everything is. It also tells me how long everything's going to be, so on and so forth. So what I can do from here is I can actually tell you what size wood I'm going to use, and I'll be able to go here, draw a box around that, go to transform. So this is going to be 51 inches by 6.5 inches with a lot of overhang. Okay. Easy way to look at this would be go here. So the actual part is 49.507, 5.1686. All in all, I could use this part. And whenever I set this up on the router, I'm actually going to clamp out here. But more so, whenever I do it, what I'll actually do is I'll glue on. I'll use CA glue, and I'll glue on sacrificial clamping blocks or screw blocks, and I'll line up the board. I'll put my glue on the sacrificial block, push it against the board, and then screw it down to the spoil board. That will give me a nice secure block that I don't have to worry about it getting hit. So I don't have to worry about my bit hitting the screw at all. And I'm able to get a little bit of extra cut out here to give a good pocket area so that I can get square cuts on the ends and get a nice good profile. So that's kind of how that goes. For right now, as you can see, I laid out the tabletop and I laid out the different pieces as they'll kind of line up on the bottom of the tabletop. So I can do my cross brace right in here, right in here, right in here, right in here. And then I'll probably manufacture a second layer to put a bottom level on this table. Not quite sure what I'm going to do there yet, but I like having multiple table surfaces, especially if it's going to be like a nightstand or something. But yeah, that's an easy way to kind of lay out what size wood you're going to need, where are you going to put your clamps. Something like this, I could easily joint like a 2x10, and then for thickness, let's see, it's going to be 2.5 inches. So I could laminate two 2x10s that were jointed, and I could take it down, or I could do 1x10s and form those up to get the thickness that I want. 3 of those. And that'll give me a 1/2 inch that I can take off on the front and the back. So I could take 1/4 inch off the front, I could take 1/4 inch off the back, and now we're to a 2.5 inch thickness. I can run it through the planer one more time to get us down to like the 2.4, 2.45 area, something like that. And that'll give me the ability to get all of this carved and then cut it out. Same with these. I can get a measurement here. If I just close this, I go here, that's a 2.4148. That's a 2.4139, not as thick. So I can pull that up a little thicker, or I could take the thickness down on both of them and I can make them say 2 inches, something like that. And I'll modify and play around with what we're going to do for thickness of design and everything like that. I can also take the measurements here and I can say, okay, we're at 49.5 and 5 7/8, and then take this 51 and 6.5, know what the allowance is there. And then I can do the same thing on the small pieces. And that'll give me my glue blocks and everything like that. So whenever I'm doing this stuff, I kind of try to map everything out before going forward with anything, just so I know going into it, how am I going to put things together and that's not the end all be all, but it's a plan, So I know that on the 4896 machine, I can cut all 4 of these pieces probably in a span widthwise, and only use a little over half the table there. I'm probably going to cut it. I'm probably going to do a roughing cut with a 1/4 inch. I have a Sky One CNC 1/4 inch rougher. And then I'll go back with their 1/4 inch ball nose. And then I'll go back with the detailed 16th inch tapered ball nose. And I'll just go from there. So pretty easy to set up the tool paths. You guys have seen that a lot. But now you know kind of how I set up all my different parts and pieces of a furniture set. So this whole idea can be translated into a bed frame. It can be translated into night tables or side tables. It can be translated into dresser, armoire, or anything like that. Then on top of that, you've got the table. And if you wanted to, you could take like a simple IKEA couch, and you can add these aprons and legs to it and set the couch frame down inside of it and kind of blend it so that couch is a part of the room decor. You could make a desk with those different add-ons and stuff like that. So when you're looking at a lot of this stuff, when you look at these, make sure that you're seeing kind of how far you can take it, or if that's what you want to do. You can use stuff like FreeCAD, SketchUp, and stuff like that to actually lay out a room. Like, you get your room measurements, you can lay out your cabinets and everything like that. So like for me, right now, let me see if I can pull this up, and I'll show you an idea that I'm working on for my room, at my house. Let's pull that. We'll go down here. We'll bring this one up, and we'll do this. So this piece here was a picture that I got off of a architectural designer magazine page. It is a place in Austin, Texas, that I would love to see the rest of the decor. But if you look at all of these panels, they all have kind of that serrated edge to them, and that's carried over into the furniture on the vertical surfaces. The horizontal surfaces have more of a round to them, and this alcove, that's actually just plywood, and they put amber stain on it. They sealed it, and then they put black walnut stain over top of that, sprayed, and then white. So you can really take a concept and make a whole room come together just by doing that, and there's a lot more to that, but that's going to be for another time, another day. Let's see here. Francois says, "Hi, Chris. Can you explain also on VCarve how to set the legs on the rotary?" Sure. Actually, I can show you. I have VCarve also. Um, Let me open up VCarve 11. Okay. And let's present. Let's share the window. Where are we? Okay. All right, Francois. So when we're doing Aspire or VCarve, it's all kind of the same workflow because um, it's all kind of the same thing. Hold on one second. Oh, my bad. He actually said Aspire, not VCarve, but it's good either way. So for this one, um, we're looking at a rotary job setup. So we go to rotary. My length, I'm going to be about 30 inches. My diameter, I think that's going to be around 8.5 inches. Let's put 8.5 just to be there. Okay. Now we go into modeling, import, flower table. This is the front left leg. Okay. This is why I'll be using Desk Proto, because this says that it's an undercut and Aspire will not let you do an undercut. So you could maneuver this leg around if you wanted to and everything, but it's kind of useless to me. I don't like that part of it, but there's a lot of other things that you can do. It's actually really nice. Let's see, scale model to fit material, resize material block, inches, lock ratio. Okay, so let's see here. I got to get a number conversion here. Inches to millimeters. So 28.3455. Let's go 28.3455. 28.3455 for the length. Okay, so we're going to be a little under 6 inches, about 5 7/8, a little bit over that, closer to a 16. So 5 15/16. All right, we click OK. And now you can see here, this is that undercut on the leg. This is where the center line goes through, and it won't allow me to undercut this. So I could do a couple things. I could hone that by hand. I could get all this shaped out, and being that that's kind of not flat, but it's a very easy curvature, and you already have a lot of it there. You can kind of sculpt that by hand. But yeah, it's really that easy to bring stuff in, Francois. And you can see how that wraps around. We've got a nice, good design going. So it's really that easy. It'll probably take, each one of these legs is probably going to take a day. Each one of the parts will probably take 2.5 days of carving straight. Just because of the details and how small of a tapered ball nose I'll be using to keep those details. So, yeah. So, Francois, did that answer your question? Did you see how to bring it in, and then you just tool path it like regular 3D tool pathing? Dre, if you're still watching, I hope that answered your question. But that's basically it. We're gonna be putting up some files and making some resource pages available on the website for CNC for Newbies to try and do some more of this stuff. You don't have to have a CNC for Newbies machine to do this. This is any CNC machine. As long as you can process the code, you can make these awesome pieces of furniture, guys. So many people get hung up. Oh, I gotta have a ShopBot. I gotta have a Laguna. I gotta have a Shop Saber. I gotta have a Millwright. I gotta have, and it's like, no, there were guys doing this by hand long ago for fun. Obviously the stouter the machine, the faster you're going to carve it. But you could do this project on an X-Carve just by tiling the 3D project, or being able to glue the pieces together. You don't necessarily have to do all of the carving work at one point. This comes into play with understanding your machine and understanding how and where things go together. When you start doing stuff like this is where you start learning the craft. This is where you start learning, hey, I want to do this. How am I going to do it? And you're going to start learning how to line up indicators and make butting posts and stuff like that. The whole I got to have the biggest, best machine thing, that's really not of any use to make a product. It's just going to speed the making of the product, speed up the making of the product. So whenever you guys are looking at this stuff, don't think about what you don't have that's holding you back. Think of ways to think outside the box to show you, hey, this is what I want to do and this is what I'm going to do. Because to me, this is a pretty trick little setup. All the parts coming up, that right there is a pretty hefty looking table. And I don't care who you are or what you say, people see that and they're going to be like, wow, that person knows how to use their machine, or wow, I can't believe that person made that. You give that to your mom and dad, you give that to your girlfriend, your wife. You start making stuff around your house. You start making stuff for contractors. You start doing islands and stuff like that. It's gonna be really, really cool. And you're gonna get business out of it because there are not a huge number of people out there doing parts like this. So as you go through, I hope you follow along. We're going to do the Jesus statue here tonight, tomorrow. Then I have a customer's business sign, two of them actually. I have some cigar ashtrays to get out. I have some flasks, and I have some handles, and I have some vinyl signs, another metal sign, and some s'mores trays. That's what's on my agenda. So what's on your agenda? You know, keep working hard. Keep doing it. With that, peace out.